Check one, two. to take this off right now?
Good. I'm not even sure what we. You know the map that says what door people should go into? Yeah. Can you print some copies?
Hey folks, we'll start in just about 1 or 2 more minutes, just letting some more people join. Also, there's an issue with Facebook going live right now, so we're live on YouTube instead of Facebook, which is a little different. So if people are looking for us on Facebook, maybe let them know to go to our SAU YouTube page. So we'll start in just about a minute or two. Thanks. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. It's 4 o'clock on Tuesday, in case you're watching this as a recording later. This will be posted to our Facebook page afterwards. There is an issue with Facebook Live right now, so we're YouTube Live on our SAU 39 YouTube account, and this is being recorded and will be posted afterwards for anyone who misses it. So thank you to all of you who are joining us. There are right now about 24 people watching with us. There are another 15 or so in our YouTube channel, and some other people are joining even as we speak. So we thank everyone for taking the time to join us. We thought with school starting tomorrow, this is a different school year than most. We know that. This is a very unique school year that we're starting, and we thought that it would make sense for us to just spend some time with parents the night before and answer any questions you might have before we start our school year. So we know that there are several questions still out there and things to talk about, and so this is really an informal chance for you folks to ask your questions live to all of us. With us on this in this Zoom, we have all four of our principals, the Assistant Superintendent, Christine Landworl, the Director of Student Services, Meg Beauchamp, and myself. And so, as well as Assistant Principal Kathleen Murphy from Clark Wilkins School. And we'll all do our best to answer your questions. If you could, pose your questions via the Q&A function down below, and we'll be happy to address those. First, I want to talk about some positive cases for COVID-19 that I've heard about and been made aware of in our community. And I'm going to give you the information that I have about all of those. So we're aware of a few cases, 3 active cases involving our students, one at Mount Vernon Village School, one at Clark Wilkins, and one at Souhegan. All of those have been, we've been provided notifications from parents about those active cases in the past week. And we've worked with each of those families to make sure that they have the information and support that they need during their time of isolation. And isolation is, if you're not familiar, is a technical term when someone is tested positive and they need to remain separate from and remain at home during their time when they have an active diagnosis. So we have 3 of those families, and we've reached out to all of them, made contact with them, and made preparations for them to adjust their modality to the remote modality for the first segment. In addition to that, we've been contacted so far by another 4 families that have been asked to quarantine by the New Hampshire Department of Health and Human Services because they've been exposed to someone who has an active diagnosis, or they were previously exposed to someone who has an active diagnosis. And so again, with those families and those parents, we've reached out, we've talked to them, and are providing support to them. And all of those families have done the right thing by notifying us of what's going on with them, and we'll continue to support them. So something that we are going to be publishing on our website later today. It may already be posted, actually. I'm not the one that posts things, but we're posting this dashboard for people. And so this dashboard shows all of the information I just shared. And so for parents at home, this is public information and available to anybody. And it shows, as of 9/1/2020, the number of active cases by school, the number of quarantined students by school, and then totals. So we will keep this active. The way this works is every student who is either active in isolation or is quarantined, they have a date that they're able to return to school. So this spreadsheet will automatically update and publish as those cases change, and all of our school nurses and myself are feeding the information that provides this up-to-date information to our families. So this is all available. Again, it's going to be on our website if it isn't there already, and will automatically be updated for our community as we move forward. So a note about how we are notified thus far. We have been working with both DHHS and the Department of Education to get the information we need. If you listen to what I just said carefully, you heard me say that it's been the parents that have notified us thus far about the active cases and the incidence of quarantine for students. And we're not thrilled about that. We would prefer that the state of New Hampshire notify us directly. We do have contacted the Department of Health and Human Services. There's a hotline for schools that our nurses are able to call, and they've been available and willing to make those calls and make those contacts. but we still are encouraging our state to notify us as schools directly. We know that there are privacy concerns with that at times, but we still believe it's the obligation of the state to notify us as schools directly so that we can notify you as parents and community members. In the absence of that reassurance from our state, that's the reason why our policy that was drafted makes it incumbent upon parents to notify us as soon as they are made aware that their child either needs to be tested or that there's a positive result. So you as parents still have that obligation to notify us, and that's why, because there's not a guarantee that we're going to be finding out directly from the state when there's a positive case or there's a requirement for quarantine. On the good side of that piece of information is that the state is, I've been reassured that the state is diligent about following up with people who are quarantined or isolated, and that they're following up with those people on a daily basis to make sure they're adhering to the requirements that the state has on them for either their isolation or for their quarantine. And so that's a very positive piece of information. So we will continue to do a number of things, just to reiterate. We will continue to work with families whenever they contact us, as they're required to do, if they're accessing the in-person on-campus environment. We'll continue to work with those families and support them. Continue to provide the public with the data about that information so you're aware and you know what's going on in your child's school. And we will continue to pressure the state to tell us that information directly so that we have a direct line and can understand that information as it happens. If you're a Mount Vernon Village School parent, you received a letter from me yesterday notifying you of the positive case. If you're a Clark Wilkins parent, you're in the process of being emailed a letter even as we speak. You might even receive it while we're on this call. That lets you know about this positive case. The Sauhegan case from last week is one that there was no need to notify, as that's going to resolve itself before school gets underway. But we still have it listed there because it's an active case. So we'll continue to do that. If there ever is an incidence where students or staff are determined to be a close contact of a student who had an active case at school, we'll be making even more specific and direct notifications to families if that were the case. So that's a lot about all of that. I'm sure that garnered a few questions along the way. Next, bus transportation. So as you know, we are ensuring that our bus transportation is safe. That is creating an artificial limit or cap on the number of students that can ride our buses, because there simply isn't room for all of the students that we've previously allowed on a bus, and we need to space kids out and limit the number of kids on a bus. And so that's creating some difficulty. So a couple of things. First, if you did not choose bus in your segment 1 parent selection form, then there's not been a bus stop provided for you by the bus company. And we will adjust our bus routes for segment 2 based on the information we receive, but the bus company I just spoke to a while ago, they're doing their best to accommodate parents where they can, but they're simply not able to accommodate all of the requests for changes, such as pickup at a grandparent's house or things like that, that we normally are able to do. And so I understand the difficulty associated with that. We all do, but we've got a limited bus fleet, and we're doing the best we can with the buses we have and keeping kids safe along the way. So bear with us with that. As you submit your information for segment 2, which by the way, you've got until this Friday at 4 p.m. to notify us of your segment 2 selection in PowerSchool, please make sure to check bus if that's something that you need during segment 2 as your primary means for getting to school and back. And so with that, what I'd like to ask the principals to do is, I think each of them have maybe a couple of things they want to run through that are specific to their school, where they've either received a number of questions or just have updates for tomorrow. And so we'll start with Mike Berry at the high school, and just any announcements you have, Mike, and then just walk us through the schedule for tomorrow and Thursday, if you could, for your school. So just take a couple minutes for the high school, Mike. Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. So tomorrow, we're going to have the freshman orientation and the welcome back days for the seniors. The freshmen will arrive. There's been some information sent out via email to the students and the families about the schedule for the day. That was sent out yesterday. And then we have a group of seniors that's involved with that, with the staff at the high school. And that's going to be in the morning. And there's a half a day schedule for ninth graders at that point. The seniors kind of also received some notification recently about a delay, kind of like a delayed entry, and their day is going to run like 11 to 2 o'clock. They should have some information on what that looks like, and they're going to be part of kind of a welcome back day, and they're going to be with their advisories and their staff as we kind of welcome back the seniors and orient the freshmen. That is Wednesday. On Thursday, as noted last week, we're going to run a very similar welcome back day, half day schedule for 10th graders and 11th graders. And the reason why we are choosing to do this is we really want to take our time to familiarize the student body with the rhythms and the routines and the procedures at Souhegan and how we're going to function. And we think having smaller groups of students to do that and will be more effective and allow us to communicate more directly with the students so they're aware. As mentioned, the high school will look different. It will look drastically different. The experience and the educational environment that Souhegan students are typically accustomed to are not going to be that. And they're going to be asked to bring their name tags, and wear masks. And if they don't have their student IDs and name tags, we're going to be pretty diligent about making sure that they do. For those students who are coming in person, we're going to make sure that they have the lanyards when they get here, and we'll have extra masks when students, forget their masks, but we're really encouraging students to have their name tags each day and have their masks. If you have not got a name tag, we'll get that sorted out. I know there's a couple students who are new or some little glitches that haven't, but we'll sort through that. Some common issues that we're working through as we try to keep as much choice as we can for the students and the staff here, and to keep kind of numbers down. We are, allowing students in any grade who have off-campus privilege to leave. And we're not saying that they have to, but they're saying if you want to and it works for your family and your situation, you can, because there will always be spaces on campus for kids to work in a safe environment. We have designed the school to accommodate that. But if people are leaving, we were very much aware that 10 minutes in between classes, let's say a senior has a class that they're in person, but they also have the ability to go and take a class in another location. We will, we're going to be really flexible about attendance and kids getting, to their next spot to do that, take that class. They're 80-minute periods, but I know they only have 10 minutes, and we're going to kind of play around with like what that rhythm and routine looks like. It might be where we have to create a longer pass in between classes, but we're just not there yet because we want to see how many students this actually applies to and how many take advantage of it. Question came up is, do ninth graders with the delayed entry, if they get here when the bus arrives, do they have a spot? They absolutely have a spot. And we have a whole hallway designated to the freshmen that's going to be supervised in the morning. So if they arrive, they will have a place to complete their work and interact, with their online lessons if they have those as part of their schedule. It will be supervised. Sophomores will have the same thing on the back end of it. Some questions about the health questionnaire where, as a district, we're asking students to fill that out and families to fill that out each day, and staff members. So that is, the link is on, I believe it's on the websites, Adam, but I just need clarification where we can find that. And so those are some commonality or common questions that have come up. But the way we're looking at it is like we're trying to narrow the focus. September 2nd with the 9th and 12th graders, September 3rd with the 10th and 11th, we have a remote day for the 8th, and we're working on those days, and then we're kind of back at it the next week. So that's kind of where we're at right now. And I'll jump in the Q&A and answer some questions that come out through this that I haven't really touched upon just yet. If you have questions, you can always email me, and I'll make sure we get response out in a timely fashion. And I appreciate people's patience as we respond to the questions and work through the glitches. And I'm pretty confident that we're going to be able to make this thing work. People just got to stay kind of in tune with what we're doing. So,
Mike, some specific questions for you. So are seniors
Yeah.
also dismissed at noon tomorrow?
they're not. You know, they have a different schedule that was emailed to students and families as part of a tradition, and they have a time. It's closer to 2 o'clock is the dismissal for seniors, and that's where we're at.
Okay. So how do kids know if there is another class taught during the same period, and how will they know where to go?
So when we get into school, let's say that next Tuesday, you know, or next Wednesday when we have school in person, and so when you get here, we're going to be asking you to follow your schedule, and you will be with your advisory in the morning. So any questions about where to go, any glitches, that will be communicated in advisory on that Wednesday when we get back. But right now, if you have a Power School schedule, please follow that. If you can look on it online, it's being updated because we did have to move rooms around. And so like the paper copy might be conflicted with where the rooms are right now. In some cases, not too many, but I know we just, you know, set forth the advisory schedule. So we're asking people to follow their advisory schedule. There'll be things, actually follow their schedule, but know that you'll go to advisory and that will be posted when you arrive on campus. And teachers who are working with remote students, you will have links sent to you between now and when you have to interact with your teachers, and that's for both even tomorrow, Thursday, next Tuesday, and most certainly, you know, that next Wednesday.
And then, so for some students that have alternating schedule, meaning they have some classes that are remote and some that are in person, where do they go since if they don't have time to go home between classes?
Well, we have common workspaces throughout the building that they have access to, and they range anywhere from, you know, certain classrooms that we've taken, you know, created bigger spaces, the mezzanine in the gym, the cafeteria. So there's a number of spaces, the info center, where in Learning Commons, there's going to be a number of spaces where kids can access when they have free periods, either at the beginning of the day, during the day, or if they have to, you know, when I say free period, or a class that they're going to access remotely. But always know, like, if a class is scheduled, they will have a room. So for example, if you know, Steve Dreher's working at the house and he has a 12th grade English class that's scheduled to be in a room, there can be people in that room, you know, accessing him from the school in that classroom that's on their schedule. But there also be common spaces throughout here.
Okay. And I know I'm being a little bit slow myself, but tomorrow freshmen arrive. Well, so just walk me through tomorrow. Tomorrow, freshmen and seniors arrive at what time?
Freshmen arrive between 7 and 8. Those helping out in the morning as seniors arrive between 7 and 8. But then there's an arrival for seniors. I believe it's like 11. I don't have that schedule right in front of me, where their activities, their welcome back day starts, and they start to work with their advisors.
Okay.
And then and then their schedule, I can, you know, once I get done speaking, I'll get and I'll put it in the chat so people can see it.
Great. Yeah, there's a couple of questions in the Q&A for you, so I'll let you get to that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike. All right, Dr. Bernasconi at the middle school. Go for it.
Great. Well, hello, everyone. We're excited to welcome kids back, whether remote or in person tomorrow. We had a great parent logistics night last night that went through more details about kind of what the first couple of days look like. So if you weren't able to make it, please know that the slides from that were sent out in our parent email yesterday. They're also posted on our website, and the video from last night's meeting was posted there. And we kind of just tried to break it down about, you know, what should students do the night before to really be prepared. So some things that we are really hoping you can help your students do tonight to make sure they're ready is to make sure they've got their materials in their backpack, their mask, their badge, a water bottle, because we've turned off fountains in the school, but we have water bottle fillers, their lunch, their snacks, and making sure that they're charging their laptop overnight, make sure that's powered off and charging so they can bring both their laptop and charger to school with them each day, headphones, an independent reading book. Just that little checklist, that pre-night routine is really helpful to help students prepare to be more independent in the middle school. And again, just reminding parents in the morning that to fill out that health questionnaire every morning, and also make lunch selections. And as you drop off your kids in the morning, we won't have morning recess like we typically do outside, but we'll have staff outside to greet and welcome your students and direct them into their launch pad or their morning meeting classrooms, where we'll start our day really focusing on that whole child and welcoming our students back to school and welcoming our remote students as well. In that document that we sent out in the slides, it does show what doors students should use to enter based on where they begin their day. You should have all at this point, parents, received an email from your student's morning meeting or launchpad teacher, and that's true whether they're remote or in person, just help welcoming them and telling them how we're going to start our day together tomorrow. And that really will help set students up for success. So we've got some great little assemblies planned for tomorrow, some information. And as we've been saying, we're really focused on building relationships and connections during this first segment, helping your students learn the layout of the school, helping them learn the layout of a remote classroom. And that's really going to be our focus over the next 2 days pretty intensely, and carry on through segment 1. Lunches are box lunches to go, and we're asking parents to select that with that PowerSchool registration first thing in the morning, so that we can prepare those meals and have your students pick them up if they do decide to purchase. And end of the day dismissal, that's going to also be really important. We've broken it up into 3 dismissal groups. So 2 of those groups will get dismissed right at the front of AMS, and that, for parent pickup will begin at 2:30 right at front of AMS. And if you are last names A through G, so your students will be dismissed at 2:30 and pickup will be in front of AMS. Again, please take a look at those slides, because there are 2 lines. We'll be there to direct you, but there are 2 lines of pickup. The 3rd line of parent pickup is at 2:40, and that will be in the Souhegan AMS bus loop. So the buses will have left by that time, so please don't get there too early. But the buses should be leaving by 2:30, and that will be our 3rd pickup line, which is last names H through Z. And again, those details, you don't need to remember them right now. They're in that document for you to refer back to. If your student's a bus rider, we'll dismiss them right at 2:24 so they can make that bus. But we're really excited to welcome everybody back. We've been busy getting the building ready, getting our classrooms ready, both virtual and in person, and just excited to welcome students back into the building.
All right, thank you, Bethany. And if you could, I'm sure you can take a look at the Q&A as well if there's any questions specific to AMS.
Sure thing.
All right, Anna Perrell, would you like to give us an update for Clark Wilkins?
Oh. All right, I will try with unmuted. We are very excited to see the kids both in person and remotely. We had a first grade tours on Sunday, and all new students to us, and it was just great to be able to see the kids. Tomorrow is open house, if you will, for the kindergartners. So what we're doing at 10 o'clock, Bennett and Nyland's class, we will keep the parents with us outside, and the teachers will actually take the kindergartners in through the building, do tours, see their classrooms, and really put the students at ease in order for their start on Thursday. Quinn and Bigno is at 11. Ladue, Barron, and Ballantyne is at 12:30. I think somebody else already asked or we appreciate your patience. We have a lot of new protocols also. I think drop-off will flow pretty smoothly, but again, it is going to be different. At Clark, the drop-off that'll start on Thursday is in the front, and the buses will be on Davis Lane. Also, I think there was a question in the chat. If New Mornings is going to be at Clark and at Wilkins, so if you have a kindergartner and your New Mornings, the student will be at Clark. 1st through 4th grade will be at Wilkins. That is available anytime through New Mornings from 7 until 9:15. If you are choosing, because you needed to drop off at 8 o'clock for students to go to the pod. That is a drop-off time between 8 and 8:15. Again, it is not gonna, we'll have a para in the classroom. It would just be quiet activities. Again, if looking for more robust opportunities, I would say that the opportunities to connect with New Mornings is still available for that time in the morning. We went through with all of the staff today. As Bethany mentioned, we have about 150 parents doing parent pickup. We have 3 waves. The waves were on the IDs that were sent home, yellow, green, and orange. Please know that if you're in a wave, those students for that wave are going to be queued up in the multi-purpose room. That's why if you're early, you'll be asked to go and queue up on Boston Post Road, because the students for that wave will be the only ones in the multi-purpose room. We are going to try our best for improving our efficiency over the next few days, but please know that if you're parent pickup, it is just going to take some time those first few days. And 150 students is a lot for the parent pickup. Kathleen, anything you wanted to mention? Information going out about Google Classrooms?
So information is going out. I think it's coming out momentarily. Our office staff, that amazing team in there, is working on that. A letter will be shared with all remote learning students with how you will access Google Classroom. Our remote learning teachers are very excited to also start their day tomorrow with students. So if you have any questions or are struggling to log in after viewing those steps, reach out to the tech support email that's provided in that letter, or one of us, and we'll gladly help to troubleshoot and make sure that your student is all set to start their day tomorrow morning with their classmates.
Excellent. Thank you, Clark Wilkins. And finally, Dr. Sarfati for the Mount Vernon Village School.
Hey everyone, we are looking forward to a great day tomorrow. Just like all of the other schools, we're going to be looking for students to have their badges on them. That is going to be their key to get into the building. If your child has not received a badge yet, please make sure that you email either myself or somebody here at the office. You can find my email online on our district website. Also, we are looking for all of our students to be wearing masks tomorrow. We're going to be welcoming all of our bus students in the rear of the building, just like we've always done. Our parent pickup and drop off is going to happen at the front of the building. Our walkers are going to be entering our building through the front entrance. And again, we're going to be looking for everybody to have their badges and their masks on them. In terms of what students need to bring with them tomorrow, they don't need to bring a whole bunch of supplies. We're just looking for students to bring their backpacks. We're looking for them to bring a couple of writing utensils. And then overall, we're really going to be focusing heavily on just getting to know each other, getting to know the teacher, getting to know our classmates, and then also really focusing on systems and routines in our schools. Students will be having specials tomorrow, so they might meet their art, music, our PE teacher. They're probably going to also be introduced to our guidance counselor. I know that I'll be walking around to all of the classrooms to introduce myself and to just go over a couple of things with each one of the classes. And so we're also, in terms of our anchoring adults, we've been sending out emails all day yesterday and today, and I hope that you have gotten your anchoring adults assignment for your student. Please know that the anchoring adult is going to be the person who will serve as a point of contact for both you and your student beyond anything that has to do with like the regular classroom teacher. Some of the students are assigned to their regular classroom teacher, and then some students are assigned to me or to some of our paras, some of our special educators, whoever they may have potentially formed a bond with in the past. That's kind of how we decided who would be assigned to the adults in this building for anchoring adults. When it comes to our outside spaces, all of the teachers are going to show kids what the outside spaces look like right outside of their classrooms, but we also have some designated areas for like outdoor use for outdoor classrooms. And that is thanks to our PTA. They provided some great shady options for us. So students will be able to kind of take a tour outside. They'll be able to see where we have our different recess locations. They're also going to be able to have snack and do all the things that they typically do. We're just going to do it responsibly with our masks and make sure that we're socially distanced when it comes to that. In terms of our lunches, we're going to have all of our lunches in our classrooms. So hopefully when you fill out your COVID questionnaire in the morning, hopefully you remember to tell us what your lunch selections are if your child is going to have lunch from school. I will tell you that our cafeteria workers are doing an amazing job. They are working really hard to make sure that they provide healthy selections and also make sure that they prepare food that your children will love. So that's great. Just an update from our nurse, Kim Deppen. So I know Mrs. Deppen is looking at all of the files on all of the students in the school. If you do not have an updated physical, I know that Mrs. Deppen will be reaching out to you to ask what the status is on that and ask if you have a physical coming up. So please expect an email from her if that happens. And otherwise, we're just looking for a super great day. Again, we're going to focus really heavily on getting to know people and focus on relationships. So we're not going to be heavy into academics this first week. So just expect that your child will probably come home with some papers and things, but there won't be a lot of homework going on this week. When it comes to our remote classrooms, I know that all of our teachers have reached out to their students. We have Maggie Home teaching. We have Maggie Home teaching K4 Humanities. We have Charlene Brown teaching K4 Math. And we also have Christina Anderson teaching 5-6 Math and Humanities. I know that some parents had some questions about Mystery Science, and I will tell you that we are going to hold off on Mystery Science for the first week. Subsequently, I've been working with our library media specialist to make sure that we upload all of the videos and lessons to Google Classroom so that your children can access those videos and those lessons, but that won't take place until our second week of school, until after we come back from Labor Day break. And otherwise, I think that's pretty much it. We're looking forward to a great day. Our staff is really, really excited, and we're just ready for your students.
All right, thank you, Dr. Sarfty. So a couple more things that I want to share with folks. So let me share my screen here. First, that information I shared before is live on our website. So you can see that that public COVID-19 dashboard. We will be adding some things to it with time, including some state data, but the key information is there. And again, that will remain live as we move forward. Also, some have asked about how to get to the COVID daily health questionnaire for your kids. And so I want to show you how to do that. So first you have to go to our PowerSchool page, which sau39.powerschool.com/public and log in. Many of you already know how to do that. When I log in, I pick whichever kid I'm filling this out for. I've got to do it for all of my children. I go to forms on the left, and you'll note down here, there is the daily student COVID screening and lunch selection form, because this is how we're also asking you to notify us of hot lunch. And so when I click on that tomorrow, I can't do it until 3 a.m. It does record when I fill this out. It's asking specifically, is this child experiencing any of the following symptoms? I have to check all of those or none of the above. And so if he has any of those things, he has to stay home and call our primary care provider and the school nurse. And then also down here is where I select Jacob's lunch plan for the day. Once I do that, I can click submit and then go up and select my other child and go back over to forms and fill that out for my other child as well, which you can see the high school form is down here on the left as well. So pretty easy process. Again, you do have to do that every day for every child, which we know takes a few minutes, but has to be done. A couple notes about that. It does not work from the PowerSchool app. If you have the app on your phone, like I do, it does not work. But if I want to do it from my phone, I can still use a web browser on my phone, like Chrome or something like that, on my phone and log into PowerSchool that way. I can get to forms that way on my phone. So you don't have to necessarily be on a computer to do that. Really important that you fill out that form. If you do not, your child is going to be contacted in a classroom and be checked by the nurses to make sure that they are appropriate for school. And you'll also be notified by us directly. If that happens a second time, if you miss a second time, we're actually going to take your child's name tag and contact you again. And then the following day, when they don't have their name tag, they'll be flagged outside until we can confirm that you have filled out that form. And then if there's a third time, then we're going to ask you to come pick up your child from the school. So very important that you fill out that form every day. It's a key part of our mitigation strategy is to ensure that parents fill it out. Good questions about that. Let's see, so there's been 22 answered questions. There's a couple that are still active, which I'll go over. And then I'm going to ask principals if there's any that you answered that you want to highlight for people that are watching and don't have a chance to review these questions. Let's see, Adam, okay, so there's a thankful one, which we very much appreciate. Thank you for that. Nice comment there. The dashboard is great. Can you please review the protocol if there are multiple positive cases in a school? So we will take our cues from the Department of Health and Human Services, meaning if we have multiple cases in a school, we will be contacting them and asking them for their direction about what we should do, because they have the authority to direct us in those cases. If they direct us to remain open and to follow certain steps, we're going to follow those to the T. If they advise us to close part or all of a school, then we'll do that as well. So we're going to follow DHHS. What you'll know is, you probably picked up on from me, is we're going to tell you all the information we can tell you. As soon as we have it, and as soon as we can publish it, we'll let you know exactly what's going on. If your child or if a staff member is directly identified as being at risk, you'll get further notification directly from us if that's necessary. So you won't get a form letter, you'll get a contact directly from us if that's the case, so that we can let you know, as well as if your child was a direct contact at school or at an event or something like that, the Department of Health and Human Services will also contact you directly and give you instructions on what you need to do. So we'll be, in short, we'll be transparent about what we know, and we'll be very clear about what expectations are, and we'll follow DHHS directions, absolutely. So can Souhegan High School students fill out their own daily COVID screen? The answer is no, they cannot. If they're 18, they can, but if they're under 18, they cannot. It has to be a parent or guardian that provides that information, which we know can be difficult. We're saying that the form can be filled out as early as 3 in the morning. So if there's a parent that leaves very early for work, or there's some sort of issue with that, it can be filled out as early as 3 in the morning for that particular child. And we know that's for high school kids that are probably capable of doing that. That's a pain, but legally they're not able to submit that information to us. Any principals that want to jump in, that want to highlight any of the questions that were asked and provide an update about those to the public? Go ahead, Dr. Sarfty. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, Mike. So yeah, I just saw a question about, or I just saw a statement about a child did not receive a badge. If your child did not receive a badge, please reach out to your building principal. I haven't gotten any emails from any parents from Mount Vernon Village School, but if your child has not received one, please reach out to me directly. And what I'll do is I'll make sure that the staff, that all the staff members have a list of the students who did not receive the badge, and then we'll make sure that we make accommodations for your child.
Go ahead, Mike. Yeah, jump right in, principals.
Yeah, I wanted to clarify that the 9th graders are arriving between 7 and 7:25 a.m. I misspoke a little bit earlier.
Got it. Are you all set? Good?
Yeah.
Good, Mike. Okay. Anybody else on the admin team?
I just to concur what Kim said, if there's any question or concern, or if one student is in the wrong wave, I think reach out to us, reach out to the people in the office. and we will make those accommodations. We're, I think all of us, we're just going to have as many adults outside and at duties and at dismissal to help kind of mitigate some of those issues or concerns, and kind of greet all the kids with smiling faces, maybe even with our mascots, just so everybody knows that, it's going to be a great day. It's going to be a great first day for all of us. But again, if you have any of those, reach out to us, but I would put more than one name on an email at this point in time.
All right, 44 minutes in, and I think we've answered all of the questions that we have so far. So with that, we thank all of you as parents and community members. We are very excited about this school year. This is so different than a typical school year that you have to know that we are excited, but also nervous to get this right. We really want to get this right for you and your students. But we know that there are going to be some things that don't go the way that they're supposed to go the first couple of days. We just know that. And if you can see gallery view for a minute, every single principal and administrator on here has the same look on their face, which is, we're going to get this right eventually, and we're going to make sure that every kid is safe first of all, and that we keep working until it works really, really well for all of us. So we thank you for your patience and all of that. I would just ask you, as superintendent, I would ask you to be kind to the people in our schools, that when you call, if you have an issue, when you call the bus company, if you have an issue, be kind. These people have been working day and night, and they really do want to get this right for your kids. So please take that in mind when you contact all of us. But with that, we hope this was helpful. No promises, but I may be back with you tomorrow or the next day just to do this again if needed. I'm not going to promise the principals because I don't know what their mental and emotional state will be after the first couple of days. But we'll keep having these conversations with you folks until we all feel that we have the information that we need. So thank you again, and have a good night. Take care, everybody.